Hello everybody, welcome to the Redmen TV and the player ranking show after Plymouth knocked Liverpool out of the FA Cup at the fourth round stage. Sorry for those that have come from the last bit on the live. It was a slightly longer turnaround than normal. I had to plug the laptop in ultimately because much like Liverpool's performance today, it was on its arse. So yeah, I'm here now. We're going to do the rankings from boss sound to your messing, but I think it goes without saying, and somebody in the chat mentioned a moment ago, the boss is absolutely obsolete today. So let's fuck that off immediately. Not required, I think it's fair to say. If somebody disagrees with that, then maybe we'll have a conversation in a minute. But yeah, let's do this, shall we? Let's get it over with. Let's peel the band-aid off. I have not, oh, somebody said it there as well. I haven't done one of these shows for a while when it comes to a negative one. It feels like maybe not all season, really. I think I missed the Forest one. I'm sure I wasn't working. But yeah, let's do it, shall we? Anyone who hasn't done this before, I pick up a player's face. You tell me where they should go, usually from boss sound to your messing. This occasion, just sound or your messing. So yeah, let's dive into it. Let's dive into that big vacuum of shite that was Liverpool's performance today. Because let's be honest, I've done all the dissecting of it in the immediate aftermath a moment ago, but it was bleak, real bleak. Normally, it's some sort of therapy, talking through results like that. I'll be honest, I'm not feeling much better than I was half an hour ago. But anyway, let's do this. Keith Kelleher conceded the penalty, obviously. But listen, penalties be penalties. Almost scored at the end, that would have been a moment. But yeah, I feel like this is probably acceptable. I've got a super chat to deal with, let me just deal with that. Squad was good enough and Slot, like Klopp, needs to communicate his ideas to non-first team players. Simicast plays if he's playing with the first team, which should have adapted. Chiesa, Chiesa was horrendous, but we'll get to that in a minute. Thanks so much for the super chat anyway. Raheem says Kelleher sound, all in the red zone, all your messing, says Simon. We've got a sound, I think sound for Kelleher. I think he's probably one of the higher ones from what was an absolute shit show. Joe Gomez, I mean, 10 minutes. I just hope he's okay, ultimately. That feels like so long ago when he went down. He was struggling from minute one. Like, he chased back with somebody and basically stopped. And then leaves a ball for Kelleher at the back and then leaves it. Oh, yeah, he was not in a good place early on there. And yeah, listen, nothing to judge off. I can't really put him your messing because he gets injured, can I? I don't know. Can I? NA is probably about right, to be honest with you, Maria. Yeah, hopefully nothing too serious, ultimately, because whatever you think of Gomez, we might well need him. But yeah, we haven't got an NA category, so I'm just going to put him there or something. Yeah, his injury proneness comes back to bite him on the arse once again. Joel Quansah. Yeah, he got away with it. Maybe he sensed what was on the horizon and thought, yeah, I'm having fuck all to do with this. Over to you lads. Let you lads take the blame for this absolute disaster performance. Okay, high messing for Quansah, sound for Joel, got some messings. Lowish your messing, says Waffy. Pino says sound. Sound. Listen, I thought he was okay first off. You know what about this on this Gomez comment here? I've seen a few people saying we've rushed him back. He's been training for 2 weeks, I know this is the first time we've seen him on a pitch, but he's been back in training for a while. He's been left at a couple of squads. He should have been ready to go, but clearly he wasn't. It feels like we were extra cautious with him and took all the possible precautions, but yeah, apparently not. Calm equals a loss on Wednesday. Hope we're fine by the FA. Somebody said a moment ago, I've never seen me swear this much. I'm not a massive swearer, but sometimes the circumstances dictate. I'm not messing, Sarah, no. Quansah is rubbish. Okay, just to clarify. Oh, sorry, right, yeah. Yeah, I watch Chiesa almost regularly, yeah, it's just terrible. Quansah low. I'm going to straddle Quansah, got a lot of messings and a lot of sounds there. First half he's okay, second half, so let's do weird performance in Quansah. Not the worst on the pitch, but not particularly good either. Nobody was. Thank you very much. Some positivity in the chat, which is nice. Endo low boss. The result had nothing to do with him. Do I have to bring boss back just for retire Endo? Highest sound, says Sevilla. Sound, says Marcus as well. Endo boss above Keller, in your opinion? Highest sound. Lots of sounds for Endo. I tend to agree. We often do a man the match in this. I'll reserve my judgment on whether I do a bit later on, but Yeah, I think if I do, it's almost certainly going to Wataru Endo, because I tend to agree. He gets out of that unscathed a little bit, whilst many others come in for severe criticism, and rightfully so as well. Kevin Warren started off on Costas. It's hard to disagree, to be honest with you. And again, a couple of corners later on were okay. The delivery was fine. Finally found a target with one or two. But his all-round game was just, like many of the other senior lads today, nothing like the level required. Not even close to it. But yeah, what else do we make of Costas? Messing, Lowe messing, shite for a senior player. That's it for me. And I've said it a few times already, like, lots and lots of people will look at the young lads and the academy lads and be like, well, speaking of one, like, you know, not good enough, not at it, physicality, needs to get on the weight, all that sort of stuff. For me, it's kind of whatever. It genuinely is. Like, I know that's quite a throwaway line to say, but when you've got the likes of, you know, Tsimikas and the attacking lads, they're the ones you need. Nowhere to be found. Morton's injured. Let's do Trey Naoni. Set piece are embarrassing. Yeah, the set pieces midweek were horrendous as well. Yeah, let's do Trey. Costas too high, says Raheem. Okay, let's drop him down a little bit then. I'm not against that whatsoever. Yeah, if I had a huge card that said absolute shite, I'd have probably just left it on camera and got off, to be honest with you, because that would have made this whole procedure much quicker. Right next to Quanta, expecting more from Naoni. Yeah, he's a very gifted footballer. I just feel like when it was such a disjointed, ineffectual performance, and a performance that lacked in pretty much every... When you've got a young lad who's not even made a handful of first-team appearances yet, probably got accumulatively 150 minutes off the top of my head, you need a functional side around you. You need a team that's operating well, and he can drop into that and play his part. When the whole team is having the offest of off days, it's hard for somebody that young to be like, okay, I'll get the ball by the horns. Like, don't get me wrong, it's happened in the history of world football, of course it has, but it's fucking some ask. It really is some ask, and Trey wasn't that lad today, and it's kind of fine. Like, you can't really criticise him for it, or indeed some of the others either. Like, it's, yeah, thanks. It's about the senior lads to step up and to raise their game, and guess what? He might follow suit, and he might shine and show a little bit glimpses of quality as well, because he's got tons and tons of quality, he really has. Today wasn't it, I know, but it's not on him. It's just not on him, I'm sorry. Anyway, we did play the C team, but that's not to say it wasn't good enough. And also, the front three was just the reserve front three. It's the second crop. We've got 6 attackers. That was the 4, 5 and 6. Nunes argued where you put him, you know what I mean? But we've been waxing lyrical about our attacking options and the fact we've got 6 boss attackers, in inverted commas. Well, 3 of them weren't there today in terms of the starting 11. The other 3 produced that. Like, anyway, I'm going to stop ranting. Okay, let's do Trey. In between the sounds and your messing. Okay, yeah, you know what, fine. Yeah, and listen, I'm not standing here saying he was brilliant, because he fucking wasn't, you know what I mean? But I'm also not going to stand here and say that he was the worst, or, you know, he's culpable or particularly to blame for the loss, because he also wasn't. I'm also hurting, by the way. I'm not like, you know, although this is my job, I'm also a massive Liverpool fan that's followed the team through thick and thin and been home and away to some grim places down the years too. So I'm with you. I'm in the same boat. You know what I mean? I know you're looking at me through some sort of different lens right now, but that remains factual as well. Let's do Harvey Elliott. Yeah, mate. Because this is one, and this is exactly right. This is exactly right. Like, he is one of the ones who I would put in a category. You could almost split the dressing room in half post-match if I was Arne Slot. I'd be like, right, performance fucking nowhere near good enough. Results, abysmal. But you guys over here, the senior lads, you're the ones who have to take responsibility for that. I spoke pre-match about him needing to take responsibility and be the one who wants the ball time and time again. And not just wants it, when he gets it, produce. Nowhere to be found. I'm sorry. I love the kid. I think he's a very talented footballer. He's come up absolute major in big moments for us down the years. He's been pivotal. He's been instrumental in some of the best wins we've had in the past 12 months. and that might sound like hyperbole, but it's factual. Today, Mamoon says, Elliott, you're messing. I've always thought Elliott isn't first team material. The game currently is too fast and strong for someone of his stature. Maybe, and listen, again, I said it early on, today wasn't for the faint-hearted. And Plymouth made it that way. They were always going to, try and bring it down to their level in terms of that physical battle and be that presence, because they've got some big fucking units in their side as well. But that's not to say Harvey Elliott's played men's football for long enough now. Like, he knows he can take up the tight little pockets of spaces that allow him to get away from that sort of danger and to play from there. It was actually, he managed to play from there sometimes, and then it was the quality that was lacking thereafter. So it wasn't like he was just getting brushed off the ball constantly. It was what he did in possession that was half the battle. And of course, he gives away the penalty, which can only be described as a different sport, as mentioned here. I thought it was like a goal defence in netball, personally. So yeah, grim day for Harvey Elliott. Grim day for Harvey Elliott. And I feel shit doing it like I do, because again, I said it earlier on, I love all these Liverpool players in some respect, but doesn't hide the truth. James McConnell. I actually thought he was one of the brightest sparks, James McConnell. I genuinely do. And I'm going to give, and I make no excuses for it, so be as angry as you like. Most of these young lads are going to get passes from me. They really are. In terms of what I say, the board might be different, but in terms of what I say, they are, because I'm not doing it. Lower sounds. Mac was sound. I thought he was genuinely fine. Won a couple of big tackles, some decent quality in possession as well. Lacked a little bit of composure for that chance later on when the keeper had been left in no man's land, to be honest. That would have been a huge moment for him. I can't tell you how happy I would have been. But yeah, I thought he was fine. I really do. And I won't have anything else said about the matter, to be honest. Christopher, everyone seems to agree too, which is nice. Pop James there. Who's next? Now we're getting to the business end. Luis Diaz. Frustrated. They're pissing life out of me, Luis Diaz. Do you know what? Most of my anger lies at the door of the attacking lads, as you may well have guessed, over the past 45 minutes. However, what annoys me most about that, what I've just watched, is that, like, they're better than that. They're so much better than that. Like, they really are. Like, they have quality. We've seen them do it. And I know people have favourites and people want certain players at the club and whatever. But for the here and now, like, he's better than that. I'm sorry. Just horrendous. No, like, hold on to the ball too long. No, like, what's the word? Like, urgency or want or desire to make something happen. I've just seen Arne Slot said, I can't say we didn't fight, and I'm inclined to just about agree with him. But fighting's one thing, but actually having the wherewithal and the directness and the want to make something actually happen, painful, man. Painful. The news of Slot won't sell the front three. Do you know what? It's funny because that literally broke last night, that article, report, whatever you want to call it. And I'll be honest with you, Etienne, I was quite dismissive of it because of the timing and because of it's not a conversation for now, in my opinion. And that remains true. However, they couldn't have put in a worse performance the day after. Literally, talk about adding fuel to the fire. Shit in hell. Yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm with you. And again, I've given a few of the lads relative passes. I think it's fair to say he may as well be over there, let's be honest. And I make no excuses for some of that. Really, I really don't. I don't care. But Luis Diaz cannot get away with that performance on this board. Really can't. Speaking of which, Federico Chiesa. The thing with Diaz, I might have misspoken a moment ago. When I say the desire and the want and the drive to produce, he's clearly got loads of that. His work ethic has never been in question, Luis Diaz. It's just when you get the ball, like, go at people. Like, he isolated his man one-on-one a couple of times, but the actual end product and what happens thereafter was just left wanting so often, man. It was, and when you're chasing a game, you're 1-0 down against bottom of the Championship Plymouth, like, be better. We're talking about, like, Colombia's star man. Like, I'm going to stop. Chiesa. Yeah, it's not looking good, bruv. Absolutely. Like, I've to's and fro's on Chiesa ever since he arrived, and people you can go back and check me. I have, because I've been really disappointed. What I've been disappointed, not his performances, because we haven't seen enough of them to really warrant a strong opinion. It's been his inconsistency of fitness, really, and availability, and the fact that he's seemingly been fit sometimes, then just been sat on the bench and not been involved. Whatever. Today was an opportunity for him to stake a claim for other stuff, but perhaps more importantly, maybe get more FA Cup games further down the line. Because I said earlier on, if the FA Cup's going to be the only competition that Chiesa, Elliott, I don't know, Diaz less so, Endo, who to be fair did okay, it might be the only chance some of them get to actually play 90 minutes of football or to start football matches. Who knows? Make the most of it. I'm actually a little bit lost for words. The decision making, the actual execution of what he then did once he'd made the decision was so far off it. There's one or two moments that he actually produces something like a dangerous delivery, but honestly, more often than not, his touch, his crossing, the final ball, everything. And again, similar to Diaz, we're talking about a seasoned international footballer who's done it at the very, very highest level. And when we needed them today, we only played. I mean, we actually showed some urgency last 15 minutes and showed some, like I say, some actual, as if we wanted to go through to the next round. Other than that, it was just, maybe. You're messing, disjointed team, disjointed. And again, I'm okay with the team being disjointed to a certain extent, 'cause it's always going to be when you make so many changes and you've got so many players playing together that have rarely done that. But that's when you need your quality to come to the fore. And guess what? Nowhere to be seen. Nowhere to be seen. Diogo Jota next. Aside from his effort late on, I think he falls into a very similar category to Diaz and Chiesa, to be honest with you. I really do. I'm struggling to discernibly differentiate what I've just watched with all three of them. And I stood here, literally, I'm not afraid to say it, like stood here 2 hours ago, being like, that front line's full of quality, full of class, all international footballers, get it to them and they should be able to do the rest. It was the fucking opposite of that. The absolute polar opposite of that. Jota almost sound. Jota was half asleep. Jota high, you're messing. A little bit higher than are we going? Okay, Brian says you're messing. Jota not so below you're messing. This is a fair assessment. I love most of these players, again, I do, because they've all given me some wonderful moments. And I love watching Liverpool play football, and this is the lads that do it, but today was just, in isolation, today was just horrible experience. Okay, let's do some subs quickly. No Rio Ngamo as well. I've been the biggest advocate of not fast forwarding Rio Ngamo too soon, because he's so young. He's played 10 games of youth football for Liverpool so far, so first team football feels wild to me. However, what he can do is he can run at people and make defenders make decisions, and make defenders do rash things that they don't want to do, and he makes them back into corners, and he gets them into horrible areas, and yet still he doesn't come on either. Anyway, I think that's all my subs. Isaac Mabaya. What I will say about Isaac Mabaya, just dead quickly, I feel really sorry for him. The fact he has to get taken off after being brought on. It was very explainable from Arne Slot, because the fact he's been booked, of course, comes on for Joe Gomez in the early minutes and then gets taken off for Darwin Núñez later on. But yeah, on a yellow card, game state dictated getting Darwin Núñez on, so we had to, and we couldn't really afford to sacrifice a striker either at that point. So yeah, I thought, listen, he's okay. It's just nice to see him back playing football, to be honest with you, because he's been out for so long injured. And yeah, nice to see. What happens in terms of his career next, that's a conversation for another day. A very, very, very athletic right back, I'll give him that. Gets up and down all day long. Any other conversation, that's one you can have amongst yourselves right now, to be honest, because he is not going to come in for major criticism from me. Trenko and Doherty, likewise, thrown on late on. I'd rather talk about him as a footballer than what he did today, to be honest with you. Really talented young lad, electric pace, eye for goal, etc., etc., etc. Very Liverpool-like in the way he plays the wide forward role. Thank you very much, Jerome. I will 100% be doing that. Yeah, yeah, fine. No blame. All I really wanted, from any of the youngsters really, I'm going to put Trey up a little bit, I've changed my mind. All I would have wanted, honestly, the performance was that bad from some of the senior lads, that as the game drew on, I'd have loved nothing more than one of the youngsters being the guy to save the day. Like, that's what it deserved, genuinely. The young lads deserve to be the heroes from that, not the senior lads. Anyway. God, this is a painful conversation. I'm just fucking grim. Trent goes there. Darwin Núñez. What do we think about Darwin Núñez? Yeah, listen, Trent going there, he's a confident young lad. He's a very, very talented footballer as well. And his day will come. It was not today. Darwin Núñez, what do you reckon? Header late on. Aside from that, he comes on relatively early in the context of the game. And I don't know, never really got a look in for a long time. And again, you've got to give credit to Plymouth for the way they defended valiantly, but we never got him into the game at all at any point. Núñez high, but high you're messing. He did okay. Down 9 messing. Núñez was the ball like 5 times. He needs to come off. Yeah, you can't blame him for Jones not coming on for him, is all I'd say on training only, mate. I'm not against it, but Mr. J. Mango, how do we focus to more in sound? Because they're young lads, and I'm sorry, people can disagree all they want. I'm not going to stand here and absolutely destroy the academy lads for what was a massively below par performance from everyone on the pitch, but in particular senior lads. It's just not, again, it wasn't their game to win, in my opinion. They're there, and they're there to obviously perform at the highest level because they wouldn't be getting played and picked for Liverpool otherwise. They're clearly good enough, obviously, and they were below par. But it's not on them to be the ones to save the day, in my opinion. It's nice if they do, but I can't buy into that fact. I played sport myself at a decent level, and as a senior player, I'd be looking at myself first and going, well, I wasn't good enough today, so I'm not going to start digging out the youngsters for not being at level either. It's just not the way it goes. And I don't actually believe some of them were as bad as some of these lads, to be honest with you, either. I thought McConnell had a decent day, so I'm going to rank him like that. Maguire, similar, you know what I mean? I know they play for Liverpool, I'm aware of that, but they play for Liverpool's academy. We've chosen to rest and rotate and to bring them into the fold. Not like they starters every week for Liverpool, is it? It's completely different. Some of these other people are starters or in and around the first team every week, and where were they today? You know, just true, man. It's just true. McConnell was bad today versus Pitt. I'm sorry, that's just nonsense. Because it's just not true, is it? He was really good against PSV. Anyway, let's do Darwin Núñez there quickly. All right. What do you think about Darwin? Bad. Yeah, okay, bad. Núñez, Messin should score twice. Yeah, he had that shot from that tightish angle as well. Maybe he should go across the goal with that. It might go in, he might hit someone. Yeah, I feel like Darwin was a bit higher than some of the others, but not setting the world alight either. But yeah. I'm being genuinely serious. Move Elliott and Simicast lower. Okay, so just a line of senior operators that fell way below what was required. I can't believe I'm about to pick this up. Not man the match. And Arne Slot. Let's do Arne Slot first. I'm relatively intrigued by what we think here. Move Jota lower 2, says SF. Quanta higher. We've got a really mature comment from Johan, says loser pool. I've not heard that one before, which is mad. Honestly, I'm 33 years old. I've not heard anyone say loser pool before. Well done, mate. Arne Slot. What do we rate Arne Slot from today? Freedom Journey says, Slot straddling, you're messing. Should have had Salam on the bench. Can't blame Slot for thinking about the Premier League. Why no Jones and no Rio? Slot no messing, no desire to win the game. Weak start 11 doesn't provide a strong bench. Chiesa needs to fall off, somebody said a minute ago. Arne Sound, to be honest, just wanted to see Rio. If he wanted to win the league game, you're messing surely. Slot, you're messing. Okay. Jones not on is confusing. I'd love to know why that was the case. I really would. Slot Sound, not his fault. I do, yeah, listen, I take a little bit of Yeah, I think that's about right. I've got a general sort of smorgasbord of assessment on Arne Slot there now. I think the starting 11 name was okay. A mixture of seniority, experience, young, quality kids. That's fine. He would have expected some of them senior lads to step up to the plate and grab that game by the scruff of the neck and be far, far better than what we watched there. Does he have to take a little bit of blame in my mind? And people will say this is hindsight, but again, I said it earlier on, I would have liked to have seen a couple more senior lads on the bench, just in case. So maybe he has to take a little bit of blame for that, in my opinion, and that is solely my opinion. Joan Eloviso said he was banking on the starting 11 for sure. He was, clearly he was, because look at the bench. He does get a bit unlucky with the Gomez thing, I guess, because that alters his plans slightly in terms of what he does have at his disposal on the bench, but prepare for all eventualities and all that, I guess, a little bit too. Not good. Not a good day for Arne. He'll always look back and refer back to the Forest game as being one of his worst so far in his short managerial tenure at Liverpool. I think this is up there alongside it, really. And I know in the grand scheme of things, it may or may not mean a lot if we go on to do other things and win other silverware. However, in the cold light of day as I stand here right now, I think he might have got it a bit wrong in his squad selection, not necessarily in his team selection. Kevin, maybe, but I've just seen a comment from a minute ago saying the whole squad and me wanted to progress in this competition. Could only really take him at face value on that, to be honest. Okay. Sound. Let's pop him somewhere. Are we straddling Arne? He has not been that low all season, let me tell you right now. Not even close to it. So let's just move Joe Gomez. Joe Gomez is kind of NA there, by the way, if anyone's fuming about that. Because, you got it wrong, end of, says Deno. Okay, yeah, I'm 10, so will this derail? Hopefully not. That's all we can guard against now, isn't it? Liverpool had 75% possession, mate. I'll be honest with you. Kind of, obviously. What we did with that possession, not a lot. Not a lot. We're all scared it could derail us. We all live in that fear. Anyway, man the match. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, isn't it? Who man the match was? Wataru Endo. Yeah, we're happy with that. Over 500 passes. Yeah, we dominated. Of course we dominated in terms of possession, in terms of, passing, in terms of keeping the ball. Yeah, Plymouth kind of were okay with that because we weren't hurting them. Up until the very last 10 minutes, we didn't even look like hurting them. Yeah, grim, man, grim. Man the match, Endo. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you so much for confirming that for me. Godfowler, likewise as well. Yes, sir, Sayed says Slot's too high. Let's drop him down a little bit there. Okay, the ref was shy, and he mentions the physicality of Plymouth. Obviously, yeah. If Plymouth faces were behind me, I would definitely be giving them a lot more flowers than what I've just given Liverpool lads. Trust me. Endo man the match. Yeah, okay, man the match to bus driver. Yeah, if he gets us home safe. Man the match to Taro Endo. Right, that's that. That was about as much fun as pulling teeth. To say not very fun. We were crap. And as much as we've attempted to dissect, explain, discuss why we were crap and just how crap we were, the bottom line is we were fucking crap. And we're out of the FA Cup because of it, which is grim. I didn't want to stand there and say that early on today. People don't care about the FA Cup. People think we've got other priorities elsewhere. Sounds. I wanted to win, and we didn't because we were proper terrible. Yeah, dust ourselves down, go again, which is what I'll be doing tomorrow on the podcast in the afternoon, where we'll talk more about that game. Don't you want to come along for that? And then, of course, it's a derby on Wednesday, the big one on Wednesday. Massive, massive response needed. No excuses. Can only get better, can't it? Today was a real low point in this season so far, and hopefully as low as it gets, because we cannot allow ourselves to do anything like what we just produced down at Home Park, because my God, it was bad. Anyway, I always do this, and I'm going to do it now, in spite of what we've just watched. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining us all day long. It's much, much appreciated. Thanks for joining me for this bit, the last bit, because they make no sense without you. Regardless of how fuming you are, regardless of how much abuse you've hurled at me, I get it, because I said it a minute ago, I'm also a Liverpool fan. I just be a Liverpool fan. I just so happen to be stood here in front of a board doing this as well. I'm as pissed off as you guys are, okay? And yeah, it's just my job to try and make sense of it a little bit quicker, which is fine. Thank you again for joining me. Massive appreciated. I will see you all again very, very, very soon. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday if you possibly can. Hopefully it gets a little bit better. Have a roast dinner, have a coffee or a cup of tea, whatever time of morning it is. Try and cheer yourselves up a little bit. I love you all very much. Take care. I'll see you soon.